Hey guys, welcome to No Ordinary Woman Chat Show. Now guys, you know what to do. You know the drill. Okay, just in case you're new to this platform, to No Ordinary Woman Chat Show, I'm Miss Caz Mac. Now I'm the host of No Ordinary Woman Chat Show, but there are strict instructions for you as a viewer to do. So basically, you need to go and call everybody and let them know that this show is about to start. You need to call right down to people you don't even like, because they need to be blessed. Yeah, so don't just keep this all to yourself. Put the kettle on, kick back, relax, put up your feet, get some cookies, and just chill and meet No Ordinary Woman, because I'm a no ordinary woman, but we have a no ordinary woman who is just amazing. And I mean, when I mean amazing, this woman has inspired me in so many levels. But I'll see you on the other side, so see you in a bit. Bye.
Your body's changing. That is true. There's really nothing you can do. It's been decided that it's time to leave some parts of your childhood behind. Do not worry, do not fret. The journey that has been set is one that you will not forget. You're becoming a woman. You're just not there yet. The switch has been turned on. The organs have begun to send the hormones, chemical messengers along to the ovary so that you can become a mum. Okay, stop right there. You must not jump the gun. You've got lots to learn, and your life's only just begun. There are rules you need to adhere. Rule number 1 is please don't go there. Because although you may now have the ability, you lack the mental capability. To deal with nappies, ugh, so sad. You'll be wearing your own, and they are called pads. Are you happy with your transformation? Are you finding it hard to cope with these adaptations? The cramps, the pain, why do we have to bear this? It's not as if we were asked. It's just not fair, miss. Your mum can help you. She's been there too. You won't be alone. She'll help see you through. Try not to have a sweet tooth. Leave the junk food and don't be a sleuth. Exercise. Eat fruits and vegetables each day. It will help keep the period blue moods at bay. I know this period business to you must seem strange. Help is at hand for you at this stage. In the form of a book called Girls, It's Time for a Change.
Guys, welcome back. Alright, so you heard me before, so I hope you phoned everybody and let them know that the show's about to start, yeah? Because we have a phenomenal woman. I mean, extraordinary, like, I get excited, like I really get excited when, you know, when you're just with some peeps and they're just like, they inspire you on levels. Well, anyway, this woman, her name is Michelle Raymond. Now, even if you Google now, yes, Google now if you can, but don't switch off from me, you would find out about this woman. You know what, let me just read about this woman. She is a highly experienced speaker who blends powerful and thought-provoking topics with a high energy and engaging style to empower and support individuals who are ready for change. If you're ready for change, then you need to stay here, right? Michelle has over 10 years human resource experience. Now, Michelle is also recognized for creating the culture and attitude shift that inspires others to break down their imagined limitations and achieve personal and professional success. So we deal with success over here. There's no like, oh, I can't do this, I can't do. No, she's going to make you want to push yourself and do what you've been thinking about doing. So further ado, let me introduce you to Miss Michelle Raymond. Hello, girl. Hey, you like the intro?
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Michelle, you are just amazing, like on so many levels. I've been watching you on Instagram, just following you on Facebook and everything else, and you really just keep on inspiring women to just step out. Not even just women, men as well. Because obviously, you know, there's a story behind yourself, which you're going to be sharing with the viewers. But let me stop gassing, because I can chat, right? And that's the whole point why I'm hosting the show. But sometimes I need to be quiet and let the guests take over. So tell the viewers, who's Michelle Raymond?
So, Michelle Raymond is a mother, a wife, a Christian, a human resource consultant, a career transition coach, a public speaker, a non-executive director, a mentor, a friend and a confidant.
Lord God, you're making me feel tired. Jeez, how are you all of those roles in one?
Yeah, it gets tough sometimes, but in each of those categories, there's one that's the lead. Being I'm a family person, that comes first. Being a Christian is very much top of my list as well. Everything else works. Once I know what my top lead qualities are, my character, everything else works. So I just merge it all together and it works.
Wow. So, I mean, obviously for you to be doing like HR as well, because it's like over 10 years experience. So even that just by itself is just, you know, challenging, because you're dealing with so many different people, different personalities, and obviously there's loads of different protocols, etc. So how did you even start in your field in doing HR?
So let's go back. I think it was 2013 to 2014. I went to an event called the Wealth Dragons event. I went with my husband, and I was sitting in the audience, and he said, is there anyone here who wants to start their own business? Now, at that time, I was happy being an employee, getting my regular salary, my pension, my private healthcare. I was doing HR, and I loved it, fine. My husband pushed my hand up, and out of all the hundreds of people that were there, John Lee decided to call me up. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I don't have a business. I'd never planned to start my own business. Called me up on stage, and he said, so tell me your name and tell me more about your business. And on the spot, I had to create this imaginary business. So I said, yeah, my name is Michelle Raymond, and I run my own HR consultancy. I go into businesses and I look at their structure. I help them with policies and procedures, people management, training, development, recruitment, disciplinary grievances, mentoring. I do the whole HR. And I said, people come to me because A, I'm very transparent, I'm very honest, so I tell you when you're doing wrong, not necessarily when your staff are doing wrong, because sometimes it can be the managers. And I'll show them a better way of managing and leading their people.
Right.
Because I'm an avid believer that you build the people and the people build your business.
That makes sense, that's good.
Yeah,
that's
and I
good.
said I'm cost effective, I'm cheaper than an employment lawyer. I have a background in employment law as well. And that same day, I think, if I remember rightly, when I got off the stage, I had about 4 or 5 people come up to me and said, oh, Michelle, listen, I can really do with your support in my business. How much do you charge for this? And I said, right, hold up. I'll come back to you in the week. So I took all their telephone numbers, and that same night I had a dream. And I was saying to my husband, you know, what should I call myself? I don't have a business name or anything. But that same night I had a dream. And in my dream, it said, Michelle, you like to partner with people. You get on with people. You like to build partnership and collaboration.
So is that
and then I got the name, the People's Partner. That same, in the morning, I registered on HMRC. I didn't even go through sole trader. I just went straight to limited company, did it. And in 2 days, I had a business. In a space of a day, 2 days. And that's how I started the HR and coaching consultancy.
Thank God for your husband. God must have been talking to him and said, put up a hand.
Yeah, he's very good. He's very good. I can't complain.
Wow, that's amazing. So, because I understand as well, you also, like, you go to companies, you help to, like, coach people and things like that. Can you give us a bit more information in regards to that area?
So, how I got into the coaching bit, it's 2 things. Because when I go into businesses, and they might call me in because they've got to do a capability issue with the staff, they want to performance manage them out of the business. But I always start from the top and think, okay, where did it go wrong? What's the problem? What's the communication style? Do you understand them? What employee engagement? And I found that a lot of the managers needed coaching or training. Now, they don't like the word training. So most corporates, they think training is a waste of money. It doesn't make any money for the business. So they use the terminology coaching. Fine, you use the language that your clients use. So I said, let me coach some of the managers how to become better leaders, how to really understand your employees. So it's not about, let's just get rid of them. How can we get the best out of them, peak performance? So I started coaching within corporates that way. But with individuals, I started doing NLP. I did my NLP course, my master practitioner.
So what does NLP stand for?
So NLP is neuro-linguistic programming. It's how you use the mind and language to get better, to be a better person. If you look at the way people talk, there's patterns, how they talk. They will say, oh gosh, I can't do this. Rather, instead of saying, I will try to do this.
Right.
So there's little language patterns, and it's changing the way you speak, it's changing the way you think. So there's lots on like mindset out at the moment and mindfulness, and it's using how mind and language come together and how you can use it to be a better version of yourself.
Of course.
So I got qualified in that, and then from there I started doing free sessions with people just to build up my experience. And then when I could see that I was actually getting results, I was thinking, hey girl, you're actually kind of good at this, yeah? You know, sometimes you have to reward yourself and say when you are good. And then I started charging, and I'm not one of those coaches, like after the 6 sessions are done, that's it. Because I want to keep in contact, and my thing is, if we haven't got the results that we wanted, you're sticking with me until you get it.
Yeah.
So don't worry about the money. You stick with me, and we're going to get you to that finish line. So I'm not like 5-6 sessions done, bye. No, I want to make sure you get it, and I want to make sure that after I've gone, you can be accountable to yourself. Because I don't believe that you need to have a coach for a long period of time. You just need them to get you on track, to push you where you need to be, and then it's about kicking in the accountability part of your brain, where now you don't need to rely on somebody else to push you. You don't need that external referencing, because you're now at that position where you're strong, you're committed, you're focused, and you can do it by yourself.
But that's amazing, because I like that USP that you really got, that unique selling point, because like you said, when you go to different coaches, it's like 6 weeks is over, bye, see ya, next. Do you know what I mean? But you just want to ensure that they get to that point. Good on you.
And that's why I don't take on, I remember someone said to me, oh Michelle, why do you only take 5? I only take 5 at a time because I spend a lot of time, a lot of energy. So we have our one-to-ones in persons, on Skype coaching calls, but I also have a done with you method, which means if I know, like one of my clients, for example, she used to be on X Factor, and she wants to do more singing in private members clubs. So I know that part of the things that she needs to do is she needs to target lots of private members clubs. So instead of me just saying, just go out and do it, let's come together, we go to South Bank, she's got a phone, I've got a phone, I'm doing it with her.
Right.
So it cuts the time in half.
Yeah.
So, and that's, not many coaches do that. And if she needs to do a proposal, I say send the proposal to me, let me read it through an outside person's eyes.
Okay.
Let's see where we can change it and tweak it. So I don't just work on the inner, the confidence, which I do a lot of, and dealing with fears and limiting beliefs, but I also like to be practical and hands-on.
Yeah.
And let's do this together. Let's make some phone calls. Let's go up here together. Let me find you a photographer, that type of thing.
Okay.
And that's what I guess makes me slightly different from other coaches.
That's amazing. And you also do backing singing as well.
And I do singing, yeah. Let me tell you, this singing, I was thinking, how can I stand out? And my husband said, but Michelle, you sing. And so I've been singing for absolute years, more than I've been in HR. And I've sang for Kylie Minogue. I've sang for, the last person I did something quite big with was Madonna. So I was doing some BVs in the studio with her. What, the Pope?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
We gotta sing, we gotta artist.
Listen, it's been good. And I've done a bit on X Factor. Back in the day when Top of the Pops was around, used to do Top of the Pops. So I don't class myself as, oh yeah, I want to be a main singer. I do behind the scenes, so a lot of backing and vocalists. But I've had so much opportunities and travelled far and wide just doing backing singing.
Amazing.
So I've really enjoyed it.
Wow.
So now, and just more recently, I went to the studio and I wanted to recreate a song and sing it my way, so that when I do speaking engagements, I can have the music in the background and it's actually me singing it, and it's an empowerment song.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So let's blend the two.
You're so creative. My goodness, you are definitely a no ordinary woman for real. Like seriously.com, you are really that woman. But in regards to your challenges, because I remember when I first met you at Ladies Talking Business, and I remember seeing you on the panel list, and you really inspired me, just with your story and everything else. And you know, guys, you're going to be so blessed with what Michelle is going to share with you. Just the way you've just changed the whole of your life, you know, because obviously you went through some stuff yourself. You know, those challenges. Do you mind sharing them with us?
I don't mind.
Yes.
How I usually start with this, I always start with the end in mind that the world will label you and put a title on you. And I've always said you don't need to be the label that people put on you, because I think it's come up to almost 10 years now. Gosh, it doesn't feel like it's that long. But about 10 years ago, I was happily married with my first husband. Well, I thought happily at the time. Happily married, and we went to church, and we had what the world saw as success. So we had a house, we had 2 cars, and we had good paying jobs. Everything was fine. Then we had a baby, had a little girl. And in my world, nothing could go wrong. And I remember my mum always saying to me, "Oh, Michelle, do you know, life is too perfect for you. Gosh, I'm so nervous that something's going to go wrong."
Right.
And I remember her saying that. And, you know, and it is that feeling where you think everything you touch turns to gold. And you think, gosh, what's around the corner? And something was definitely around the corner. I remember I was at home and I got a phone call from my husband. And my husband said, "Oh, I've just been suspended from work." And I said, "What for?" Now, I work in HR. Now, if I know when I suspend someone on the spot, it's gross misconduct.
Right.
And so I was thinking, so I said, "What did you do?" And he said, "Oh, there's just some rumour going around." And I said, "It can't be a rumour for you to be suspended on the spot. So what is it?" And he gave me this story that didn't really sit very well with me. So I thought, this cannot be it. And then I think a few weeks passed, and then he said to me, "Michelle, they've accused me of abusing children." So I said, "What do you mean?" You know, you have that thing, don't be silly. At that point, I still didn't even believe it. And I'm thinking, how can you? Who, with, where, when? Where was I? That type of thing. As time went on, and because we were in a church, we were in a very well-known church as well. And he was quite well-known in the church. And then it transpired that, I don't know how it got into the news, but one of the girls who had accused him went to Jeremy Kyle. And Jeremy Kyle, now we know what Jeremy Kyle's program is like.
Yeah.
They even said it's too serious to put on their show. And you know that show, what the show's like.
Because they just love all the gossip, all the dirt, everything.
So then it got on the news. And at this time I was still struggling, like, how can this happen? You know, where was I? When did this occur? I remember I was at home, I was in the bathroom, and someone called me and said, "Michelle, go turn on the TV straight away." I ran to the TV, put it on, and there I saw his face on ITV News.
Jeez.
And it was saying, "This guy has been accused of this." He worked for a major council at the time, and because he was working with young people, so it just went from here, it just shot up. And once that was released in the news, then obviously it was in the newspapers. Afterwards, if I remember rightly, another 6 people came forward. And I just like, right. And at the time, I was a nominated foster carer. So when I had done my enhanced DR,
and you've got a daughter as well.
And I had a daughter. That came, and it took very long to come back, and I didn't understand why. And when it came, I felt it was really thick. And when I opened it, you know, they said I'm fine, and they said, but I might be related to somebody who's, you know, has been convicted in the past. So I'm thinking, right, so I'm hearing this now. Was something else before. Let me tell you, when you think you know somebody, and life as it was now is no more. I remember sitting down and I was thinking, but I don't know even who I am. I thought I was married to somebody who, you know, we're both in church and we have this family in this home, and in an instant it just all went, everything. I was reading this, and there's something about hearing something and reading it. When you read the words in front of you, it just makes it all so much real.
That's right, yeah.
And I remember collapsing, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, what do I do? And I was thinking about my daughter. I remember being in church, and someone tapped me on my shoulder in the middle of prayer, saying, "Michelle, is it true?" Because some of the girls who were involved went to the church as well. And, you know, so we were banished from church, obviously. And then he couldn't live in London. He was put in bail, had to live elsewhere. So I was at home. And then obviously we had a mortgage, and he was not working, so I had to pay the mortgage. And then I missed a couple of months.
Yeah.
So everything, I had my house, somebody threw a brick through my window with me and my daughter. It was really, really painful and terrible time. And all I kept thinking is, why didn't I not know? And when I went to court and I was listening, and I remember I was sitting with my aunt and she was holding my hands and she said, Michelle, show no emotions, because people are watching, they want to see what types of reaction you're showing.
Yeah.
And I remember the tears were burning, even thinking about it now, the tears were like burning my eyes, and I was thinking, Michelle, don't show it, don't show it. When I heard one of the girls say, what did she say? That I invited her back to the house, and I remember this. And I said, yeah, she wanted to come round after church to play with my daughter, and I invited her around, and in the afternoon I put my daughter to bed. When I was putting her to bed, he was abusing her in the kitchen. And I just thought, Michelle, you did this. This at the time, that's what I thought at the time.
But obviously it's not you.
But at the time, it ate away at me, and I thought, Michelle, how could you do this? How did you not know this was going on? And, you know, and it affected me for ages. And I went into deep depression. I almost lost my job. And I just had to shut away. So I stopped singing. I wasn't doing very well at work. Obviously, I wasn't looking after my daughter as best as I could. And I had social services on my case because they were saying that I'm not dealing with this very well, and they were saying, told me about some section, whatever, that they can remove my daughter from the home. So I was going for a really bad period, but I had family and friends and prayer just got me through.
Praise God.
But it is nothing, I cannot explain the feeling when you think you know something and it all just crumbles.
Yeah.
And someone that you've lived with, you've slept with, you've given your heart to, has been accused of such heinous crimes. And, he was then put in prison and he was given 9 years. And during that time, I had to deal with my daughter, like trying to cope with, and then the social services, got involved, and I had to tell the school and the doctors, and they wanted to check her out.
Yeah.
And even years afterwards, I got really paranoid.
Yeah.
And I wanted to check my daughter every time she left the house, and it got really bad where I had to lay her down. I wanted to check every part of her body because I just freaked out. So I wasn't even being a very good mother.
And how old was your daughter at the time?
So she was 2. Between 2 and 3, so everything I just had to check, But all I can say is the point of transition or transformation was when I was at church, and I remember the pastor saying something he's said years and many times before: be transformed by the renewing of your mind.
Yeah,
I hear the scripture all the time. Yeah. All it takes is one trigger. And when I was sitting there, and I thought, but Michelle, it's not you. Why are you letting your whole life, you got depressed, and I used to cry all the time, I couldn't do anything. And I thought, Michelle, there's more to you than this. And I was in the newspaper, they used to label me the wife of the paedophile. That was what I was known for. So this is, when at the beginning I said, that's what when people label you.
Yeah.
So I was not known as Michelle, I was known as the wife of the paedophile. And I thought, no, I will no longer be known as that. I'm going to give myself a new title. Yes. And then that's when I got qualified in human resource management, and I got qualified in NLP, and I thought, I'm going to change my own title.
Yes.
And that's how the empowerment came across, it came about, because I just thought, I need to change this for my daughter.
Yeah.
And actually more recently, she Googled him, and she was saying, Mum, what is this word? And she's trying to pronounce the P word. I said, listen, let's talk about it. Not now. And, I have to sit and I have to have that conversation. She's 11 now. Jeez. And I have to have that conversation. So, it's been a journey.
Yeah, I mean, just listening to your story, it's just making me God.
I can feel it with myself as well.
But it's just amazing how, you've come from a bad situation and you didn't put yourself in that situation. No. Let's not get this twisted here, do you know what I mean? And you can't control what the other individuals does, but you went through that. So in a way, it's like you're going through it as if to say you're the one that's done it, even though you haven't done anything, but you've managed to change everything around, you know what I mean? You change your life around, and not only are you changing your life around, you're even changing other people.
And that is my mantra. If I can just change or make an impact on one person, I feel like I've done my job.
Yeah.
Because I people say they want to change the world, and I know I can't change the world by myself. But if I can make an impact on someone who then will see the world differently and then impact somebody else and then somebody else, then I'm doing my purpose, because I believe now God's called me for more than this.
Yes, it definitely has.
For more than this.
Yeah.
And that's what I say to other people. Where you are now, this is not you. There's more to you.
Yeah.
What is your divine purpose? What are you called to do? And are you walking in it? And this is what I live to do.
Yeah. So what would you, like for our viewers, there may be somebody that may be going through a similar situation, or even, their husband or their partner or whatever it may possibly be. But what would you say to that individual in terms of them feeling depressed right now? Could you just encourage that person, if you don't mind just speaking to the camera, just telling that person, just encourage them?
What I would say to you is look at your whole life. That bit that is not right, that is not perfect, is in the midst of everything else that is right. And I will always say, look at the good things that are going well in your life. That's what I had to do. I had to look at my daughter through new eyes, because she looked like her father, and that just brought back memories. But then I had to say, but this child is innocent. This child could be a future prime minister. There was so much more to her, and I had to use the good things that were in my life. I had to look at my mum, I had to look at my family, all my greatest support. So even though you are in this situation now, look at all the good things that's happened in your life, and you have to put that first. And you have to say, how can I amplify the good things in my life? Because you cannot be grateful and be depressed at the same time. It's impossible. Because when you're truly grateful of all the good things in your life, that will override the bad things. And then what happens? The bad thing doesn't go. You just see it with new eyes. And then you find new ways, new strategies, new tools, new techniques of how to deal with the things that are not so right. So I'm not here to tell you that it's that I can make your troubles go away. I can only help you see it from a new perspective. Because when you look at it with new eyes, new perspective, you see things totally different. So I want to encourage you out there, irrespective of what you're going through, there's always someone there who is in a worse situation. And what would you tell them? How would you ask them or tell them how to get over it? The same things how you would encourage and advise others. Feed yourself. And I always say to coaches and mentors and consultants, too many times we're trying to help others who are drowning. You try to help others who are be an anchor for them, and you don't realize you're drowning yourself. So you need to take time out and heal your own wounds. You need to look after yourself so that you can be an armor, be strength for somebody else. That's what I'm saying.
Thank you so much. That just ministered to me, and that's so powerful. But I'm going to slightly change a little bit in regards to upcoming events.
Yes.
What's happening in Michelle's world?
Yeah, lots happening. I do a lot of talks on how to build your relationships with people.
Right.
And because it was my relationships with people that helped me get through, I understand that you need people in different aspects of your life. And success is not just about money. Success is, how can I help other people? How can I be the strength to others? And how can I build my relationships? So I do a lot of talks about building relationships, how to elevate your circle of influence, because we all have our own peers and we learn from our peers. But I understand and appreciate that you can learn so much faster from people who are playing at a higher level than yourselves. So I've got an ebook out, which is how to elevate your circle of influence. And in there I talk about how to infiltrate, those big people, the big mentors, the leaders, the thought leaders. How do you get in the inner circle? And on the back of that, I've now just released a course. It's a 4-week online course.
Okay.
And it's how to build your relationships.
Right.
And how to go to those networking events and move away from the small talk, like what's the weather, and try to give out your business cards to everybody.
Because it can be quite intimidating, when you go there and you don't really have the tools what to do. And
in my course, I talk about being strategic in everything you do. So when you're going to an event, ask for the guest list beforehand.
Right.
And identify the people that you think you can connect with. You find them on Instagram, Facebook, wherever they may be, and you make your introductions there. Okay. So by the time you see them, and even if there's speakers, contact the speakers beforehand. And then when you see the speakers, when you get to the event, there's always a Q&A session. And I always say, make sure you've come with 3 power questions. And the question should be related to, obviously, what the event topic is. But find a question that is a bit out there that makes them think, because then they'll remember you.
Right.
And that's what I did more recently. I was at the House of Commons and I asked a question, and one of the panelists, she's the first black female publisher of GQ magazine.
Oh.
And I remember asking her a question, and by the time we finished, she was like, "Oh gosh, what a question." And it made her think.
Yeah.
But afterwards, she then came to me and she said, "Let's connect, because I liked what you had to ask me." And that's how you infiltrate people who are, you know, trailblazers. So that's what the course is, just giving you tips and strategies on how to do this and how to follow up, because sometimes you connect with somebody and you don't follow up straight away. And there'll be a period of time that lapsed and you think, how do I reconnect with this person? So I'm just showing you how to do that, and about picking up the phone.
Okay, yeah, because you know that can be quite daunting.
Right. We've become such an internet society,
taking away that
you just let me just WhatsApp them, or not WhatsApp, let me just email, let me instant message. But do you know, the people that really make the long-lasting connections are the ones that pick up the phone. And we've lost the art of actually just saying hello, hi, and actually talking to people.
Yeah.
And I talk a lot about offline connections is, if not more important than online connections.
Okay, so in regards to this program,
Yes.
could people actually purchase this as well?
Yes,
from you?
so if they can contact me on Michelle at thepeoplespartner.com, I can send them the link to it, and it's a 4-week course. Is £47, but if anyone, I'm happy to offer for any one of your viewers, if they put Now TV, I'll create a
now.
hashtag Now. If they I'll create a code and send it to you, then I'll happily do it at a discounted rate for your viewers. Definitely.
Guys, you listen, when you come on the program, you get bring-ins, you know?
Yes, definitely.
Oh, fabulous. Okay, so cool, because I love what you're saying in regards to, you know, asking those key questions, because I remember listening to a message by Dr. Miles Monroe, and God rest his soul, an awesome man, but even said, you know, sometimes it's not just about just talking, it's asking the right questions. Do you know what I mean?
Let me tell you, I call them power questions. It's about actually stopping and listening. Too many people, we listen to give our response.
Yeah.
But just listen to understand. And if, you know, I was listening to your interview previously, and I was really listening to what you're asking and listening to what she's saying, and that's where you create your power questions. And it's about, how can I ask the right questions to get the right response I want, and also to really understand that person and where they're coming from. And you get to understand people better, not by giving the answers, by knowing all the right answers, but knowing the right types of questions to ask. So I think listening skills are very much underrated.
Yes.
Very much underrated.
Thank you so much. Well, we're going to wrap up.
Yes.
I don't want to wrap up. Hey, I never want to wrap up, but so it go. But in regards to the People's Partners, what's your other social media platforms that people can also interact with you? Because I know you're on Instagram.
Yes, so I'm on Instagram as Michelle Raymond.
Okay.
I'm also on LinkedIn as Michelle Raymond. I've got a Facebook page, which is The People's Partner, which is The People's with a apostrophe S partner, and also as Michelle Raymond. Yeah, I'm also on Twitter as The P Partner, because it was too long to put anything else. So yeah, I'm on all of the social media platforms. I'm very active on Facebook and LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is where my clients are, and Facebook is for that social, you know, raising that social visibility.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Well, guys, we're going to have to go. I know, I want to cry too. You know how it goes. But you can always come and tune in next time. So I know you was blessed. And like Michelle said, you know, be encouraged. You know, what you're going through right now is not your final destination. You know, I went through some stuff myself, and here I am talking to you guys. So, you know, keep going. God's got a great purpose for you. And I love you. Michelle loves you. And the crew loves you. So bye. See you later.
Bye.
Ciao.
You are the key. It's only natural. on the beginning.
Hi guys, I am super excited because my new 4-week online course is now available. It's how to network effectively with key people of influence. This 4-week online course will show you the fundamental concepts, strategies and tools on how to take your peer-to-peer networking to a new level. It's how you can learn to network with industry leaders, thought provokers, people who are playing the game at a higher level than yourselves. It's taken me a long time just to get to this point, and trust me, if I can do it, you guys can do it too. So feel free to connect with me. Please support me by investing in this 4-week course. All the details on how to do this will be available. Thank you, and I'll see you on the other side.